what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. In our business, there is no second place. Either you're first or you're last.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready?
And now, the W with Walls and the crew.
Good morning.
Where winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. On 100.1 FM.
Good morning.
And Facebook Live.
Act like we never left. Another Saturday morning with the W Show, Kansas City, talking sports and pop culture. If this is your first time checking us out, we greatly appreciate you making us a part of your Saturday morning. Good morning.
What up?
How was your 4th of July?
You know how my 4th of July was, sir.
Man, how was it?
It was the barbecue was good. I appreciate
Okay,
it.
I just want.
I should have came over earlier to eat more.
I just want to make sure that you.
And I come back.
Yeah. All right. I just want to make sure that you acknowledge.
I was surprised.
Why?
I didn't know it was going to be that much food. I pulled up, went upstairs. There was food, lots of it.
Yeah.
It's like nobody else was there.
Food, drink, get your belly full.
I should have took a to-go plate.
You should have. You should have. You can't come back for seconds now. Once you leave, you can't come back.
Yeah, I know who's going to let me in the house. They love me. Even the dog loves me.
Q, how was your 4th, man?
It was good. I got to chill. I didn't have to host or anything. My aunt hosted.
Okay.
I didn't have to cook nothing. I just
you
brought
didn't take anything.
I brought some watermelon. I don't never show up empty-handed.
All right.
Yeah, but I got a couple of watermelon and brought them in.
Hey, quick question about watermelon, real quick. How do you know if a watermelon is ready to go?
You gotta thump it.
Yeah, because I was walking by this lady in Walmart the other day, and she was knocking on the watermelon. I'm like, what?
Too hard. Yeah.
All right.
No, you're gonna bust a watermelon open trying to knock on it. It's not a door. Yeah, you gotta, you thump it.
And I want to welcome our guest, DJ Diamond Diva. Sharon, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
All right.
I'm excited.
All right. Yeah. Talk to us. Tell us, you're a DJ around Kansas City. You went to school with Q and I. We can't say you're a Yellow Jacket alum, but we can say that you went there.
Yeah, I was there for a time.
Yep.
A short time before I moved on to greener pastures.
Thank you. I wouldn't claim center either.
Come on, man.
All right.
It's the Center High School for those that didn't go there.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, there we go.
I see you sitting down there. But yeah, shout out to all the Ruskin Eagles out there. That's where I graduated,
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. Met you guys at Center. You went to Mizzou, registered nurse, and then that has spiraled into all of this now. Started DJing. Q, got to pay homage because he was one of the greats when I came in the game. Learned a lot from him. And then that just snowballed. I've always had a love for sports, more specifically the Chiefs. And the Chiefs actually blossomed my fandom into all of the NFL because I started off with just, if it ain't Chiefs, I don't really care.
Yeah.
And then obviously when I start understanding and learning the game more, it just blossomed into I love the game. So I watch them all that I can. But obviously Chiefs are my first and foremost. And I'm doing my thing. Also doing the content creator stuff, which has really picked up. That's been a blessing. In addition to just my sports talk, being able to work with the Chiefs and things like that, having those opportunities. So that's just kind of how I got to where I am now, just by the grace of the Most High. Just
quick question though. Chiefs moved to Kansas. You still rocking with them?
I will, but I will be
reluctant.
upset. Yeah, I'll be definitely reluctant. I mean, there's a lot of history in the stadium itself. There can never be another Arrowhead the way it's built, with us being the loudest, the way that we are underground, the way we are. So it's just a lot of history, us being the third oldest stadium in the NFL. So I would like for it to stay there, and we just build up the area surrounding
all
it.
That
but
property
tax, it's money, it's politics, it's all of that. So we just got to see how it plays.
Where's the loyalty from the Hunt family when you need them the most?
But here's the thing, though, and we talked about this a lot, just with the stadium being there and with the Royals basically first up to make the decision on if they're going to leave or if they're going to stay. I think the Hunt family and the Chiefs organization as a whole, I think they're just going to wait on the see what the Royals do. And then, you have, like you said, you have all that land out there. There's just waiting to be something to be built. Yeah.
What do you think the strategy is behind like waiting for the Royals? Is that so you don't rip the Band-Aid off and be the first one?
No. I think it's because just from having conversations with people that are, with the organization, it's like they were together at first. And then the Royals didn't have a solid plan of what they were going to do. Like, if you're going to build this ballpark, okay, what's the plan? What's the tax dollars going to be and things like that. So once that happened, it was just like, all right, you guys don't have a solid plan. We see what the voters are saying. We're not going to be able, we're just going to take our hands off of it. And you guys go ahead and make the decision because we're here till 2030 regardless. You guys are the ones that want to make the move. So I think that's just what it is.
And I think, too, they would use that property as well because there were plans about making a whole district surrounding that. So if the Royals are relocated, then that's real estate.
So who came up with that plan?
What plan?
To do something with that parking lot if the Royals leave. 2015.
When? I didn't hear that. You came up with the plan?
Yes, I came up with the plan. I said I've been saying it on the show for the
look. I've been saying it for the. Go ahead, Cook. Go ahead.
I said that the Royals should have moved here. They should renovate this building that we're in, Kemper Arena.
Yeah.
Take the stadium, remove it. They should have like a tailgating fandom section, right? You have your regular tailgaters who they can pick a spot. You're paying $100 for parking, right?
Yep.
So you pay $100 for parking because that's the regular price just to be in the parking.
Oh, really?
Okay. Wow. Or 75.
It's not 100. It's like 60.
Okay, 60.
Yeah.
So the regular price, you get your own plot of land. You can watch the game. You can tailgate. You can do that. For a higher price, you can have like a little 20-yard football field, probably a personal chef or any vendor of Kansas City of any barbecue restaurant, right? Gates. Q39, LCs, or whatever, along with local beverages from alcohol to soda drinks, whichever is local here to Kansas City, James Lemonade or whatever.
Yeah. That
brings in money from inside vendors from the city to help them make money for the city and outside vendors. And if you want to get more exclusive, you pay $300 and you have a bar, big screen TV, the whole tailgating experience. Because what is the Chiefs known about? Tailgating. Rowdy fans, rowdy fans, right? So if you take out the stadium, you can implement that. I've been saying this since 2015.
I mean, they'll probably do.
Just tell me it sounds good though.
It sounds good because anything surrounding tailgate, okay.
And it helps out local businesses.
Anything surrounding tailgating is good, but I feel like they'll just tear the stadium down, build new, and then tear the old one down, and then kind of build something like practice facility, kind of like what Green Bay does. Green Bay has Titletown, and they have the stadium surrounded by the neighborhood, which is similar to Kansas City. It's surrounded by the neighborhood, and then they have what's called it's called Titletown, and they have like a field, bars, restaurants, everything right there. It's pretty cool.
They need to make a district.
Yep.
Not just the.
I think you can do that in Independence, though.
Yeah. Yeah, you can. That's Kansas City. That's not Independence.
That's still Kansas City.
That's Kansas City.
Still Kansas City. Okay.
Yeah.
Throw a rock.
That's anywhere.
I understand.
That's anywhere.
I think the neighborhood. I think that's why the problem lies.
I know this ain't what you asked, but I don't want the Royals to move to Kansas either. I would love if
downtown.
they could stay.
Yeah.
That, or I feel like they were talking about close to Union Station as well, like an area over there, like something like that. But I don't know. I just feel like it's been here in Missouri. Like that's where it needs to stay.
If it goes to Kansas, I'm gonna laugh at you guys.
Why? You go to a game. Say you want to go to a game and they go to Kansas.
Man, I have bad history with Kansas. I probably still got a warrant.
All right. Well, we got a lot to talk about on today's show. We mentioned talking sports. You ready?
Oh, yeah.
All right, cool. Sure. All right, so we're going to dive into Bobby Witt Jr. He was snubbed as 2025 MLB All-Star starter. We'll talk Guardians pitcher Luis Ortiz. He's placed on paid leave due to MLB investigation reportedly relating to gambling. We'll also dive into KC current owners. They vowed to do everything in their power to bring a WNBA team to Kansas City. And in about 30 minutes, we'll have our sneakers of the week. Let's get to today's headlines.
And now, here are the biggest sports headlines from this week. We bring them to you every Saturday morning on The W with Walls and the Crew on 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
All right, so Royals shortstop Bobby Witt Jr., he was snubbed as a 2025 MLB All-Star starter. So in 2024, Bobby Witt Jr. put together one of the greatest non-MVP seasons in recent history. This year, he's pretty good, but that's not enough to gain support from the fans to get him to be a starter for this year's All-Star weekend.
So I wouldn't say he's snubbed.
Why not?
So let's do an impression. Kansas City It's never getting the accolades that they should. Who is that?
Nobody. You
guys.
Yeah.
That's the Kansas City fans.
Yeah.
Okay,
No.
this would be coming from a San Francisco fan.
I thought I had on the shirt.
No, you don't.
Yes, and it will come from that because he wasn't snubbed. You guys, as the fans who watch him every day, who promoted little QR code, vote for Bobby Witt.
Yeah, all MLB teams do that.
And a city who is losing their baseball team.
We're not losing our baseball.
No,
team.
Oakland is.
Oh, okay, I thought you were
Losing their baseball team. They're practicing in a college.
UNLV.
College was right. So check this out.
Yeah.
And if you always want to, always the over on points.
Yeah.
If you if an Oakland home game, just a little tidbit. They always go over because of the ballpark is shorter. You guys lost to a team, without a city. They had more fans vote for Wilson than Witt.
Okay.
But y'all love him, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's not snubbed.
And I think that speaks to my point that we had a couple of weeks ago, talking about how like both teams don't seem to know how to make the players bigger than life. Like we talked about going into Super Bowl cities, you have certain players that are plastered on the side of the tallest building. You see murals on the highway coming in out of the airport, and we don't see that. Of course, we ain't gonna see that with the Royals. The Royals aren't. They go in spurts over the last couple of years, but even the Chiefs, we don't see a lot of the fanfare. We don't see, like, it's almost like that pep rally atmosphere when the Royals are playing. Like the Chiefs, we see it, but they don't make it larger than life, and I think that's the tough thing. So that's why you lose out on cities like Oakland and different players, because you don't. I mean, the fan vote, you got to hype these guys up. And what personality do we know about Bobby Witt Jr.?
He's a cool
guy. I feel like that tide is starting to change, because I see what you're saying. Kansas City being a smaller market, we were not a destination for a lot of athletes that want to play in any sport, whether that's MLB or football. But now with Patrick Mahomes, things have changed. Like we've even seen it locally in the city. Look how the airports, all the businesses. I mean, I feel like now Kansas City is on the rise everywhere, not just here. People are knowing about Kansas City because of I gotta say it, because of the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. So while I do think there's still a lot of work to be done there, I do think that has elevated. I do think there is more of a global eye, and I will say global because we got Germany, we got like all these people who are looking at Kansas City and who like it here. And now we have big time names that want to come here and want to play here. So that's the difference too. That's fine.
Amara St. Brown, he did say that.
That's fine. That is fine.
I think
I
think with the Royals winning. And Patrick Mahomes coming to Kansas City, and then the legalization of marijuana, and then the school systems that we had, and sports betting coming. I think the school systems that Kansas had, and the quality of life that I've been reading, just as to be a citizen, was Overland Park, Johnson County was like top 10 places to live in, raise a family, schools, etc., whatever. Now you combine that with a good sports team. Booming businesses are coming in because of marijuana. We do
have a lot of hubs here for
transportation and logistics or so with the train station coming in here. That's why St. Joe is St. Joe and Kansas City's Kansas City, because they went away from the train system. I think that perfect storm made that, but I think the PR team, as you know, to shine some light on Q, is doing the Kansas City Royals and the Chiefs a disservice because you're supposed to capitalize on this. You want this. I mean, Pat's going to stay here for years. Yeah, but if you want other players to stay here, then you need to do something with your PR team to promote these players so they can be liked or have that type of personality. And what personality other than Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce? He's retiring. What other player of the Chiefs that you can give that
Chris
shine
Jones.
Of light?
He's in a lot of commercials and things now.
I think he's on his way out.
He's older though.
Yeah. Any new players?
You have to have
Xavier Worthy.
I think you have to have. It was going to be Rashee Rice. However, he got into his legal thing. But I think it's still going to be Kelce. Until Kelce is gone, it's going to be him, and it's going to be Mahomes. Because I mean, and we'll talk about it a little bit later, but top 100 guys on NFL on the NFL list, Patrick still 1-2. And to talk about your point of like just putting their social media team doing just this justice for, the team. C. Lenz can attest to this because he's always out at the Royal Stadium. But they do a lot. And anytime Patrick is there, they're always showing him. They're showing the players. However, I can see what you're saying. The fact that they don't put Bobby Witt Jr. out there. They really don't. It's like you see it on social media as vote for me. But as far as like that non-average baseball fan, are you going to get on your phone? You're going to scan the QR code, or you're going to vote? I don't think that Kansas Cityans really did that. And see, Lenz, you can answer this, but I don't think that they put enough into it of saying, all right, get out there and vote to make sure that Bobby Witt Jr. has, gets his start.
I think that with this being 2 years in a row, because he lost it last year.
He lost it last year
to Gunny, Baltimore Oilers player. So
and statistically, he's better than the rookie that beat him out.
Yeah, a little bit. So
come on, man.
More RBIs, more
home runs,
bases.
stolen
he's a better
bases.
Outfielder, better overall.
But Wilson is second in league in batting average at 339. You can't really snub somebody being a shortstop at 339.
Yeah.
And he only has 2 less home runs. So it's not like he has 4.
But we talking about the face of the league, though.
That's what I was going to say. I just
Bobby
feel
Witt's
like
the face of the league?
One of the. I mean, you got Aaron Judge.
Yes.
It was Aaron Judge last year. It was Aaron Judge, Bobby Witt Jr.
No, Ohtani.
Well, of course,
Mookie.
and Ohtani. But no, I would say Bobby Witt Jr. is up here.
Because you've got a lot of players with a lot more star power than Bobby Witt. And I think when we talk about star power, we talk about face of the league.
Yeah.
I don't know what Bobby Witt Jr. sounds like. I don't know if he likes ketchup on his steaks. Like there's a lot of things that I don't know about him.
But that's a lot of baseball. You don't know much about Aaron Judge either.
Aaron Judge is also bigger than the game. So there's always and he's in New York. So there's always a camera and a microphone in his face.
I can tell you who you do know about. A guy like Jazz Chisholm Jr.
Yeah. Well, it's the Yankees.
No, his brand is just, it takes his social media and his team to push him forward. It's not the league.
What I think will happen, and I think the Royals will get there, because this is the same thing with the Chiefs. The Chiefs really said, okay, we about to get this thing going after the Royals won the World Series.
Yep.
After getting a taste of seeing what that was like. So I think the same thing will be said with the Royals. Like after seeing how the Chiefs have really moved the market and moved the needle, now I think they will start doing some more of that in terms of the social media, in terms of, like you were saying, getting to know people on a personal level where fans can feel like I really connect. Because Bobby Witt is still young. Like he's still like, it ain't like
25,
he's been in the league
I think.
for a couple of years.
Yep.
So there's still time and opportunity, but I do think that is a good point.
Mhm.
Like, especially in the social media age, you do need to see him more, get to know him more so that people can like him. So that way it's not just the Kansas City folks.
And let me ask you this. We all do content creation stuff. I know you do a lot of it as well. Well, not he don't on this side of the room we do. But that being said, like we see the NBA, they've done a lot with bringing in content creators. NFL is kind of they're dropping a little bit in the bucket a little bit. But do you feel like the MLB needs to do more of that content creation stuff just to get the more youth involved?
Absolutely. Whether you love it or hate it, like social media is the news now. That's the way that most people consume what they find out.
True.
Whether
I agree.
it's the truth or not, they're on social media more than they're watching TV or the news. So definitely, if you want to have a name and be out there, you got to have a strong social media presence.
That's funny she says that, because I will see something on social media and then I'll fact check it, go into Google and then read the articles after I see something on social media.
Yeah.
Do you think, now one thing I do know about Bobby Witt real quick is that he did complain about not being able to wear the jerseys for the honor of the Negro Leagues, whatever. And I thought that was admirable of him. I didn't expect that out of him because
Bobby Witt's cool.
He seems cool. I've seen P-Dub in the interviews or so. I've seen him talk to him or whatever. But what if it's his personality not to be P? What if PR approaches him and he's like, hey,
I think he is. I think he's more of a quiet guy, but he does show his personality because, just for instance, my son, shout out to P-Dub, he's doing a campaign called P-Dub to Pottstown to make it to this kind of a content creator baseball team. So we decided we're going to go to the game. We're going to try to talk to every player that we can after the game. And so a lot of guys roll by in their cars. Vinny Pascantino, we went up to his car. He was like, hey, can you say P-Dub to Pottstown? He's like, what? Rolled his window up, kept going. He did. It was midnight. and the Royals lost this game midnight. Bobby Witt, it was probably three or four of us out there. Bobby Witt stopped his car. It's like, hey, what's up, guys? Come on over. And my son was like, hey, Bobby Witt, talk to him a little bit. Hey, can you say Pete up to Pottstown? He's like, Pete up to Pottstown? All right, bet. Yeah, cool. Pete up to Pottstown. Midnight, lost the game, stood there, talked to the guys. He's like, you guys need anything else?
But that's the weight that some stars take on their shoulders.
Yeah.
And I think you kind of have that duality with the Chiefs. Patrick is not necessarily the guy that's gonna be in front of the cameras all the time.
Yeah.
Like he posts on social media of him fake reading the playbook in the offseason.
Stay on that, man. Like, come on.
I didn't ever see it.
No,
I never saw it.
No, because he was just sitting on a recliner and his feet
was
up.
during COVID.
And he was, COVID? Yeah. I think it was. Yeah. But he was fake reading the playbook, and it was like, yeah, I'm dialed in, I'm locked in.
But that's fact.
Yeah, but then you have someone on the opposite end, like a Travis, that as soon as his career started, he was on a reality TV show. He was on TV, always was in, different cameras and microphones was in his face. So that's when you get to build that. And like we've seen, like you said, Travis stayed downtown in Power and Light. So a lot of people knew him, just from being around. I met him before his big stardom when he was on IR his first year, just being out in the clubs. But he also wasn't that guy that was like when he won, he wasn't standing on couches and doing all, like he was chill. He'd come out in a cowboy hat, like just being very personable to people and making that connection. And you have to do that again when you're a star. So Bobby Witt does that. The other player you mentioned,
Vinny.
Yeah. he might be out of here next year. So, there's certain things that they're thinking about and all of that. But that's what they need to lean in more, especially with Bobby Witt. Yeah. If he's this personality, I think they need to groom that much more, and not necessarily groom it, but they need to put it on display. They need to display it much more.
Yeah, I tell you, who's not going to be displayed is Guardians pitcher Luis Ortiz. He's placed on leave due to MLB investigation, reportedly relating to gambling. So Cleveland's Guardians pitcher Luis Ortiz was placed on leave Thursday amid an MLB investigation, the team announced. So the team did not provide details of the investigation, saying it was not permitted to comment further at this time. The investigation is believed to be related to gambling.
Gambling, of course.
Yeah.
But I think that conceited mean that.
So
yeah,
I was reading up on this as we're supposed to. They investigating 2 pitches.
Yep.
They're using the data. I was looking at the company. That's what I was reading.
We had the pitches. You want to see them?
IC3,
yeah.
Wild slider pitches or whatever.
Yeah.
But the IC360 is a company where you can request to book a demo, so you can hire them. So, and other leagues should hire them. So based on the data, the coaching, and their analytics or so, and the betting frequency or something, they said that based on these 2 pitches, one was June 15th against the Mariners, the other one was June 27th against the Cardinals.
Hold your thought real quick. We're gonna watch the pitches.
.com/vote. First pitch missing, low ball 1.
So that was the first one. Let's take a look at the second one.
Pedro Panes leads off and takes one that is just a little bit outside, just to quote another movie that had something to do with.
Yeah. So looking at both of those pictures, continue your thought.
So the company IC360, based on their analytics and the betting frequency, and they've seen a high uptick in bettings, because in baseball you can bet on the next pitch, right? You can bet if it's going to be a strike, a ball, or a tip ball, anything. So I'm assuming, based on what I was reading, that the analytics and the betting skied up, and he threw this wild pitch. So I guess based on his algorithm, he doesn't throw pitches like that. And with it being like that, very obvious.
Yeah.
But if he gets suspended for 2 games based off of algorithm, I wonder what that's going to do to the future of other players, because it's over 20 players. Over 20 players in the last 5 years have been suspended. A umpire this year was suspended for sharing an account with friends, and he's gone.
Because you can't be tied to that at all.
Nope.
Like I said, even there's certain limits. Even not even being that high of a level, but like I said, working with the Chiefs, there's certain you can't be involved with or you can't do because they're trying to keep the game clean, and it's easy to exactly, especially in baseball, like you said, when you can bet on a single pitch
and just change it. And it's like, hey man, I'm gonna throw a slider in the dirt.
Yep.
Plus $250,000.
Yep. And there's a lot of guys, not only in baseball, but you have former Pistons guard Malik Beasley, who paid his barber and his dentist $60,000 after a lawsuit. So the former Detroit Pistons guard is under federal investigation for gambling, and information regarding Beasley's finances have come to light in the immediate aftermath. So Beasley was in serious talks with the team to finalize a 3-year, $42 million contract, according to ESPN Shams Charania, but the deal is now on hold. So Beasley is coming off a 1-year, $6 million deal with the Pistons. It leaves him into free agency. And court records obtained by the Milwaukee Journal of Sentinel, these guys get all kind of dirt on players. Part of the USA Today network showed that Beasley paid a barbershop and a dentist more than $60,000 on July 2nd after both businesses sued him last September for not repaying loans. So they're saying that these loans were given to him because of the sports betting.
He leveraged his 2K licensing rights, his NBA license rights, some of the checks that he had. He leveraged his future earnings because he did have a 3-year $60 million with Minnesota, and they thought that would humble him because apparently there's off the court problems.
The even crazier thing though is when have you heard of a professional athlete's checks getting garnished from the team?
That's what I was gonna say. There's something going on because it's like I said, I can't count nobody's wallet, be in nobody's pocketbook, but it just seems as though if you're making that amount of money, how you owe the barber $20,000? You said to the fact that you're getting sued for non-payment, and then he had a big deal coming on the table that now, like you said, is on hold. So it's just like there's something more to that. Like I said, I'm not saying that he's guilty of anything, but to even have these debts that are coming to light, it's like, well, what's really happening?
So he hit the game winner in the playoffs in New York with Detroit, right? He got served with papers right after that game. The FBI, with the investigation, the attorney general, the first day of free agency, notified the team. It was like, hey, and then they took the money off the table. That is strategic law enforcement rules right there. They do things, whatever.
They want you to help them win, and then after you're going to be leaving, it's a wrap.
Based on what I've been reading the last 2 days about his off the field and whatever teams have said, they just like, hey, hopefully he matures. He was part of that Rudy Gobert deal to Utah. I think they threw him in there because they didn't think that he would be a fit, even though he's a great player or a decent player that should get a lot of money. I think he has a lot of connections or associations with other people based on what I'm reading. And I think the FBI is trying to get the whole network. You do that. You tax somebody's money. You don't purposely just hey, we're investigating him the day you're supposed to get a big bag. You want to frustrate him so then he can flip. Because now you take away his money and he had all these debts. He can't get picked up by a team, so he doesn't have any more checks. The rest of the checks are being garnished. They're gonna squeeze him and like, hey, Mr. Beasley. So
but
you know what?
You know what? It's always somebody on the inside because sports betting. I mean, it's one of those things where we always look like, man, why did he not shoot that? Like we feel like these guys know what their lines are, and there's somebody always on the inside that's gonna say, oh man, dude gonna come out here and score 15 tonight.
You see the video where it's like 3 seconds left and he got the ball and Beasley ran it down the field, sprinted because the spread was 7. They were up by 9, or they was down by 9. Sprinted with the ball with 4 seconds left and laid it up. That's the unwritten rule. You don't score. You dribble the ball out. It's not like he was going to score and it was going to determine the game, but it did determine the spread.
So y'all think he's betting on the games that he plays in?
Oh, he's betting on everything. Yeah. Or somebody came to him. Maybe
allegedly.
Yeah. I'm just piecing this together.
If there's smoke, there's fire.
With his debt, with his not being frugal with his money and owing thousands of people, I think somebody came up to him and was like, listen, the spread is 9. We needed 9. And we can wipe away this loan, or we can do this, or we can do that, or whatever. And I think his lifestyle or whatever he's doing put him in that predicament.
Yeah. You always see that. That's like what Squid Games. It's like all right, if you need this, we understand that you're going through some financial trouble. Hey, here, take this card, call this number, and we'll take care of it. We'll take care of it for you. So it got to be him going through some things.
That does make the case a little more compelling because it's like now there is a motive for why you need the money.
Yeah.
You know, if this wasn't there, then it would be more inclined to be like, well, why would he do that? Like, he's
I
got
don't
this
know.
multi-million-dollar deal on the table. Like, that doesn't make sense. But if he's in arrears to multiple people, then it's like,
I just say this,
man, that's
because Uncle Sam didn't pay me this month. Thanks. But next time you're gonna throw an outside slider or, cover the spread, let me know, please.
All right, the Kansas City current owners vow to do everything in their power to bring WNBA to Kansas City. So hopes of WNBA expansion coming to Kansas City were put on hold this week as the league announced plans to add teams in Cleveland, Detroit, and Philly. But that isn't stopping KC current ownership. In a statement shared on Thursday by the club, the owners Angie and Chris Long expressed plans for the group to eventually bring women's professional basketball to the city of fountains as the WNBA popularity grows. So they said, while we are, of course, disappointed that the city was not selected at this time, our belief in the city and its passion for basketball and women's sports have never been stronger, the Long said. We have incredibly engaged fan base, a thriving sports culture, and proven commitment to elevating women's sports.
How long so these new expansion teams, they're not coming in until when? 27, or is it?
It would be 27, 28.
Yeah, the 27, 28.
Yeah, because Toronto came in this year. Then you have what was it? I think it was Portland coming in next year. And then it'll kind of domino effect on
All cities with NBA teams.
And I asked that because I would say, the Kansas City should have a WNBA team by what? 28, 29, 30?
I would say 28, 29,
somewhere in there.
2030.
I think it needs to happen. And especially when you look at the growth of the game. Partly why I'm glad we waited. Well, they waited. And so the city can get together as far as like infrastructure and different things that we're currently improving, trying to get done before the World Cup. But I think it helps the women's game to have it in these cities, the Detroits, what was it? Detroit, Philly, and Cleveland. I think it helps in that aspect, because now you start to build those regional teams. You've got Detroit in the Midwest,
Indiana, Chicago.
Memphis doesn't have a team, but Chicago, Indiana. I think being able to build up that Midwest region, I think is going to help the game a whole lot more. And especially if you get some stars coming here, like I would like to see Juju here on the side of a building, but that's not going to happen. But I think that's going to be inroads for the league, to build more awareness here. Because are we a basketball city?
No.
I would think
not currently, but I think we would be. I definitely think now. Why not?
You don't think hosting the Big 12, we're a big city?
We had this conversation 2-3 weeks ago. How I can walk into a bar and I have to ask them, like, hey,
facts,
can you change on to the NBA Finals? There's 150 more games I can see the Royals losing.
Yeah. But that wouldn't make sense though. If the Royals are playing and we in KC, then I expect to see the Royals. We don't have an NBA team, so that's just loyalty.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
NBA Finals.
If we had an NBA team here, then yes, and I get that. I mean, or maybe on one of the
you shouldn't have to have a baby to babysit.
But you're not going to turn
nephews.
off. That's just like saying, okay, well, the Chiefs are playing, but also something else is going on. But because this is a championship, we're not going to watch the Chiefs. No, we are in Kansas City, so any Kansas City team that's on,
I don't think there's
deserves
nothing
to be
really.
on TV.
It could be the KU Jayhawks.
they no now with KU Jayhawks.
Yeah, because they've got KU bars.
But they listen.
Any local.
It's still local.
I am not talking about game one of divisional. I'm talking about the NBA Finals.
Yeah,
and it's all Royals.
Yeah,
I shouldn't even. If you're a sports bar,
yeah,
that shouldn't even.
It should be on one.
That shouldn't be a question I should ask.
I don't think you can answer Q's question like, are we a basketball city with just watching it on TV? I think when you look at from a youth perspective, look at where we're broadcasting our show from, inside of Hy-Vee Arena, they put 10 courts in here because people in Kansas City love basketball. You go out to KCK where they have they built another arena that just serves basketball. They got 10 courts out there at a home field. This is a basketball city. We're in middle of America. Where this is basketball town. Like we really, you can look at, you ask people, all right, well, where is the football town? Texas, Florida, Georgia. Those are the top football towns. Baseball, It's kind of in those southern states as well. But when you think about basketball, you think of heart of America, sometimes New York, sometimes California, but right here, heart of America, it's basketball. Like that's what we grew up playing basketball.
We grew up playing basketball, but this is where I have to say that I think culturally, it's not enough people that look like the people who pay for pay the money to be in the seats. And I think that's the disconnect on why this is not a basketball town for an NBA. And I think that if we cannot prove to get our city councilmen together and the people above, the powers that be, to work out a deal with the Chiefs and the Royals, what kind of conversation do you have to other financiers to put in some money to a team, to a league that's about to have CBA problems? Caitlin Clark, that we're speaking about later, is making $70,000, and she was just evaluated by some financiers from Harvard that she's worth $1 billion.
Oh, well, we knew that. There's always been indiscrepancy between the way that women are paid in sports and men. That's like a whole can of worms and problem that we can dig into. But in terms of the question being asked about could Kansas City support a basketball market at this stage in 2025? I definitely think so. Because everything is going up. You're getting
60-40.
So what 60-40
we
that
already
they
have
don't.
an arena.
So
T-Mobile.
Which could have been placed with the NBA team. Remember back in the day, what was this 07, 08?
We tried. Oklahoma got it.
We should have got that.
I know.
But when we were supposed to get, they was advocating for hockey for Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah.
And then they snubbed it out from us, and then people were pissed. They really wanted the hockey. They really wanted the hockey team. But if you bring a KC current women's basketball, and they start to lose, seats will be empty.
Other than sports,
I don't know.
It is with all sports, but I think women is a little different.
I don't think so.
So
with
you're
women's
saying
sports.
you think overall the market itself is not big enough to sustain the stuff in a smaller market like Kansas City.
Correct.
So, okay.
All right. On that note, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll talk. There's some plans to have a UFC fight at the White House. Can y'all believe that? We'll be right back.
Yep.
This is the W Show.
It's Trump.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
All right, grads, your big moment is finally here. And parents, if you're looking for the ultimate way to say we're proud of you, there is no better gift than a brand new ride from our friends over at Riceman Nissan. Whether it's the rugged Frontier, the stylish Altima, or the 2025 Rogue, Riceman has the perfect car or SUV to kick off its next chapter in style. Plus, you're getting the safety, reliability, and tech that every grad and every parent can feel great about. Visit them today in Tiffany Springs, just south of the airport. Riceman Nissan. Every customer, every time. Hey, what's up, sports fans? Here's your chance to be a true champion with our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. It's super easy. Just pick higher or lower on your favorite players and test your skills for some serious prizes. The more champions points you play for, the more you can win. Stack points, climb the ranks, and show everybody that you're built different. And when you sign up, don't forget to use promo code The W Show. That's right, use promo code The W Show to get in the game. Let's make some champions today. This holiday season and every day of the year, the Solar Santa Do Good Foundation is here to make a difference. They are a 501c3 organization dedicated to connecting high-functioning individuals with disabilities and their families to vital resources, support services, and opportunities. Through personalized professional development, community awareness, and education, they empower lives and create lasting change. Join their mission to do good 365 by volunteering, donating, or partnering with them today. Visit thesolarcenter.org to learn more. Together, we can help everyone experience the fullness of life.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag talk about it, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want. You can message us. You can text us. Send us a message on Twitter, X, however you want to do it, any social media, and we'll talk about your topic. So continuing on with the headlines, Donald Trump announces plans for UFC fight at the White House. So in 2026 for America 250. So President Donald Trump announced plans for UFC bout at the White House in 2026 to commemorate 250 years of American independence. Let's hear what he had to say.
We're going to have a UFC fight. We're going to have a UFC fight. Think of this, on the grounds of the White House. We have a lot of land.
Yeah. So I want to get your thoughts on that because, I mean, to be honest, yeah, I'll say mine, but want to hear what you guys have to say.
I mean, when's the circus going to the White House? Because I mean, they just everything's for sale. Like, I don't have no thoughts on this.
Really?
That's crazy. That's nuts. That's my thought.
Yeah.
The thought is, it just doesn't surprise me. I mean, that's who we got. We got a showman in office, and that he wants to do what he wants to do, and he's gonna do what he wants to do, and yeah, so it's gonna happen.
So, but would y'all watch?
We're gonna pay
would
all
y'all
the
watch
money to get it done.
UFC at White House? No.
Okay.
And I like UFC, but I don't know. I'm kind of like you. Next. All the things.
Well, with recent events that have gone on, July 1st, me not getting paid, I mean, I wouldn't watch it anyway. Yeah, they messed up. America is a business. Pay me my money.
It's the first and foremost.
That's it. Or take the proceeds of the fight. I need 10% percentage.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I finally got a good one out of C-Lane. Thank you. Pay me the money. You ever seen the movie Idiocracy, created by Mike Judge, and Terry Crews was the president?
I haven't seen very many Terry Crews movies.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Did you seen a Mike Judge movie?
Nope.
Creator of Beavis and Butthead, right?
Oh,
So Idiocracy shows how this guy gets transported in the future, and everybody's dumb. They're watering the grounds with Gatorade instead of water.
Shout out to
Terry Crews is the president, and they have like a monster truck show every day. He comes out with his guns blazing. This is that right here.
Terry Crews is ever a president on any movie I'm not watching.
Watch the clips of Idiocracy and then compare what you read and see off of the clips of Idiocracy, and then compare and contrast that with what we're seeing today.
Well, they say a lot of movies are based off of reality.
Oh, this is reality all the way.
Yeah.
And you see that when you see what I'm talking about now, and you talk about this segment right here, you're like, man, this man Mike right twice.
All right, the NFL has released their their first 10 of their NFL top 100 players list in 2025. So every season, of course, current players vote to determine the NFL top 100 players in the league. 2025 marks the 15th season the NFL has released this top 100 list. So the 2025 full top 100 list will be released on September 1st, and they'll do it every week. They'll release 10 every week up until September 1st. When the top 10 is revealed. So the first 10, you have Ladd McConkey, wide receiver for the Chargers at 100. At 99, Leonard Williams, defensive lineman for the Seahawks. 98, Aaron Jones, running back for the Vikings. 97, Drake London, wide receiver for the Falcons. At 96, Levante David, linebacker for the Buccaneers. At 95, you have Josh Sweat, linebacker for the Cardinals. 94, Sam Laporta, tight end for the Lions. 93, Creed Humphrey, Chiefs center. Jesse Bates at 92 for the safety for the Falcons, and 91 Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback for the Dolphins. Any surprise about that first 10?
Yeah, Tua.
Okay.
What did he do?
He didn't do anything last year. I mean,
he did enough. Out of 100, he's 91, and he's a quarterback. That
4 games.
He's a quarterback. There's only 32 of them that start. And he's number 91. That's a disrespect
to Tua?
To a quarterback, not for him, for a quarterback.
Oh.
You're the general of a team. You make and go everything, and he's 91. He's behind. He's above 2 spots.
Creed Humphrey, as a matter of fact, that he's above. Creed Humphrey is one of the best centers in the league.
Yeah, I was gonna say he seems kind of low.
Yeah.
To me.
So I mean, you're gonna see the rest of the quarterbacks, other than the ones that are just in the position just until they draft one next year. I mean, Tua was a Heisman Trophy winner and top pick a few years ago.
But what has
based on the previous season, though? You know,
that's why he's 91. Though.
Tyreek Hill wrote some checks that Tua couldn't cash. What happened?
Hello.
Once the full list is revealed,
there's
going to be someone who got snubbed, and then you're going to be like, "Why was Tua on there?"
It's going to be Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
No, Jalen gonna be top 10.
He's gonna be top 10. No, he'll be on the list. He'll be a lot lower than what he needs.
Nah, he'll be top 10.
You think so?
Nah, he won't be.
He'll be top 10.
He won't be top 10.
This is not the
You said he won't be
press.
Yes, he will.
This is a players.
The players are voting on this.
The players are voting on this?
Yes, players vote.
Okay, so let's do this then. Patrick Mahomes, top 10?
I don't know.
He'll be top 10.
Yeah,
He'll
be
Joe
top 10,
Burrow,
but they
top
could be
10?
hating.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, Joe Burrow, top 10.
Even though
Joe Burrow top 10.
I don't think that he
Yes.
should be top 10.
He threw 50
Three quarterbacks. Three quarterbacks is going to be top 10.
Okay, hold on.
It's going to be Joe Burrow.
Hold on. Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes.
And,
That's 3.
Josh
Allen.
Yeah.
That's 4. Okay, let's go with somebody else. Let me think of someone else. Tyreek Hill was number 1 last year, right?
No, it's Patrick Mahomes.
Real
That was a
disrespectful
snub.
territory.
Tyreek Hill was top 10 last year, right?
Awesome,
Was Tyreek Hill top 10?
No, he was not. I don't think he was top 10. We can look it up, but I don't think he was top 10.
Look up last year.
Yeah, we'll look it up. Keep going.
So let's see here else. Who am I thinking of? I'm surprised that Drake London was lower.
Yeah,
at
so he's
97.
pretty
That was
low.
crazy. Let me think. Justin Herbert.
No.
If he's
So I'll give
anywhere
you
near the
top 10. I'll give you
25.
top 10 from last
Not
year.
top 10.
You had Max Crosby at number 10. You had Travis Kelce at 9. You had TJ Watt at 8. You had Trent Williams at 7. You had Chris Jones at 6. You had Myles Garrett at 5. You had Patrick Mahomes at 4. Sorry. Christian McCaffrey at 3. You had Lamar Jackson at 2, and you had Tyreek Hill at 1.
I told you Tyreek Hill was number 1. That's 3 times.
Yeah,
I
we
was
knew
right.
he was. We knew he was voting
didn't
number
say
one.
that.
But it's recency. It's recency too.
It's
a lot
recency
like this.
though. But he wasn't even in the top 10. So is Jalen Hurts going to be above Max Crosby?
This year.
This year he will.
Jalen Hurts going to be ahead of Saquon Barkley?
No.
Jalen Hurts going to be ahead of
Saquon Barkley might get 1.
Who is he taking off this list? Because if you take Trent Williams,
This is
off,
recency. You're not going to have Chris Jones on there at top 10.
Yeah.
but
You're not.
so you can
TJ Watt was injured last year. You're not going to have him on there.
TJ
either.
Watt was still almost defensive player of the year. So then you substitute them out for what's my guy's name from Junior from he just won defensive player of the year from Denver.
Oh yeah.
So you substitute out
Surtain, I think.
Patrick Surtain Jr. So you put him on that list as top 10.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's Chris McCaffrey. He's not going to be top 10.
Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
Patrick Surtain. Max Crosby. Bosa. Not seeing.
Is
not
Max
Bosa.
Crosby making top 10 again this year?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I don't think
With
he
the
does.
six-
I
with
bet
the-
a Gates plate. That he
You
doesn't
still
make
trying to
top
bet
10.
Gates? All
Yeah,
right.
I bet he doesn't make top 10.
Who doesn't make the top?
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. That's a bet for Q because I don't have any a dog in this fight.
Q, what's your thoughts on that?
It's getting real disrespectful in here that we have Joe Burrow and the kid from Josh Allen. Like,
Joe Burrow's nice.
come on now.
I know I'm a cheap
With the resume that Jalen Hurts has,
I know.
and we're talking about Joe Burrow and Josh Allen. I don't know.
That's just getting real disrespectful.
getting real
So what I
disrespectful
will
in
say
here.
though, what I will say because I love Jalen Hurts. You can't take that away from Josh Allen though. Like, so if somebody's saying head to head quarterback wise, which quarterback are you taking? Even
It's
though
not
Jalen
Josh
Hurts
Allen.
won the
It's not Josh Allen.
What?
Over Hurts? You would say no over Hurts?
I would say no over for Josh Allen and Joe
Ooh.
Burrow.
You know what? Hold on.
I know, but wait.
Yeah.
What your question is? Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts, or is it Joe Burrow and Jalen Hurts?
I would probably.
If I'm ranking them, I would say Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and Joe Burrow.
What?
That's just who I'm ranking them. Recency bias. Jalen Hurts just led his team to a Super Bowl.
Okay,
win.
so let's do this here.
But I will say, because not to take away anything from Hurts, though, he had Saquon Barkley, who led them on his back.
Devontae
the
Smith.
entire
2 years,
season.
Whoa.
And 2 years before that, he lost the Super Bowl by 3 points without Saquon Barkley.
Without Saquon. But hold on, listen. Their defense is
I
top
was-
3. Give that defense to Joe Burrow. The reason why they had those games, Joe Burrow was throwing. Joe Burrow threw 50-something touchdowns.
He also
last
has
year.
the best wide
interceptions
receiver.
You got
he
Jamar
throw?
Chase. Yeah, but okay, take out Jamar
He had
Chase.
a
Give him-
pretty good
One of the second best wide receivers, T. Higgins too.
I was going to say he's got a tandem over there.
He has a tandem. But Jalen Hurts has Devontae Smith, Heisman Trophy,
True.
offensive player. AJ Brown. These are not slouch.
Let's dive into another list that the NFL put out this week. So they put every team's Mount Rushmore player since the year 2000. We'll only look at the Chiefs on this one.
Of course.
For Mount Rushmore since the year 2000. Can you guys guess 2 players that are on that list?
Priest Holmes.
No.
Jamal Charles.
Nope.
Tony Gonzalez.
Yep.
Tony Gonzalez is one.
Mhm. Well, Derek Thomas was like 99.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I'll give you the 4 that are on the
Of
Mount
course,
Rushmore.
Patrick Mahomes.
You have Pat, you have Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, and Tony Gonzalez. Those are the 4 that are
Yeah.
on the Mount Rushmore.
Really?
Since the year 2000.
because I was like, you got to put Tony up there.
Yep.
Of course, it goes without saying Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, I feel like goes without saying because he has surpassed records of Tony Gonzalez at this point. And then Chris Jones is one of the best defensive players in the league. I can see people still possibly being on the fence as all time, but I feel like he's going to be. I mean,
Chris Holmes balled out that year.
And that's what I'm saying.
Chris Holmes and Jamal Charles, in my opinion. But I kind of
it's recency bias though.
Yeah, because I'm not putting
Chris Jones won 3 Super Bowls.
Oh, okay. Yes. That's all fine and well. I'm not putting Chris Jones over Jamal or Priest.
Yeah.
And I feel like, oh, sorry, Jamal. But I think Priest
he was dope.
Is up there. I think Priest can be up there. Because I think what happened was that Priest kind of laid that foundation for the type of running back that the Chiefs wanted. Like you wanted somebody that rivaled a LaDainian Tomlinson. True. You wanted somebody that rivaled the stable of running backs, pun intended, that comes out of Denver. Like yeah. Oh,
I can see where you're going there because I had a tough time when I asked myself the question between Jamal and Priest Holmes, but I put Jamal up there, and I think maybe just because I'm partial, I feel like he did so much. If he would have been with Pat, oh my gosh,
yeah, and I
gave us a lot of good years, and we just couldn't
put him in public speaking though,
and that's what
he wouldn't be on a PR.
But
list.
That's what I talk about. That's what I talk about with a long time, even before Pat. Like the Chiefs did a lot of players disservice by not getting a quarterback, and especially
Alex Smith
for that.
Wasn't a slout though, man.
I love Alex Smith.
Hold on, now thinking about it, like I said,
don't bring up Alex Smith around Q.
No,
you know he's gonna try to.
Hold on.
You don't like it?
No, you know it's 3 quarterbacks.
Is
Like Eli Manning, Alex Smith, and Drew Lock is the 3 that you don't like.
Alex Smith is fine, but we give Sis a lot.
So hold on,
we give Sis a lot over here because that
putting it together. The PR company for the PR, whatever they have for PR for the Chiefs needs to leave. Because now I'm thinking about it with all their
the same group. Come on.
Well, with all their blenders, with not promoting Travis and Pat and all these players like that. Hold on, I'm getting to something. They know Jamal Charles, and not only did they have him go up there and represent the Chiefs for the next pick, it's like the most unpronounced name ever that he had to pronounce.
On that note, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll dive into our talk about in our Henry Lugman segment. We'll be right back. This is the W Show.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC WeSpin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC WeSpin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC WeSpin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC WeSpin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
Your loved ones matter the most. Take the burden away by pre-planning personal arrangements that fit you and your family perfectly. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services will be here to comfort your family and take special requests. Plan and feel confident your loved ones will be less stressed and can console each other in their time of need. We will be here when you need us at 816-231-GATE or visit kcgoldengate.com. Exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Football fans, you can't spell gate without Gates, and great tailgates start with Gates sauces and seasonings. Named synonymous with mouth-watering tailgates. When you make your list of tailgate essentials, add Gates sauces and seasonings to that list. Spice up your tailgate experience with that unmistakable great taste. Available in 4 tantalizing flavors: classic, sweet, mild, and hot. Find it at your local grocer, and if you don't see it, ask for it. Visit GatesBarbecue.com to purchase any of the great sauces and seasonings. Great tailgates start with Gates.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to use hashtag talk about it, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want. You can message us, send us a tweet, or I'm still saying tweet, but it's X.
It's still
however
tweets.
you want to say it.
It's still tweets.
And we'll talk about whatever topic you want. We do have a talk about it segment today. This was sent from John 316WH on X. Says wants to talk about South Korea has a relaxation prison where you can get locked up to unwind from daily stress. So the prison called Inside Me is a retreat in Hangshin, South Korea. It says you can go there and be able to stay as long as you want. It's basically like prison, that they'll lock you up and you can be able to relax from daily stress.
What kind of food?
They didn't talk about the food.
I'll just go to a spa.
What about my bills, though?
And you said this is North Korea?
South Korea. Never be North Korea.
Okay.
Bro.
Because that's what was throwing me off. I was like, North Korea and prison.
There's no internet in North Korea. Jail is jail in North Korea.
Yeah. So
I got to see the setup. I got to see the setup. What about my bills doing this?
Nah, your bill's still racking up. You still racking up.
I need particulars because if I need to relax from the stresses of life, I don't want to walk out with more stresses. You have to alleviate that more than just some jail
Why do you have
spot.
to be locked up though?
I don't know.
I don't like that. I wouldn't like that feeling.
I don't like the feeling of saying inside of me though. With jail, that's
there's probably 3 or 4 spas in like a 5-mile radius from here that are way better than that.
Any
You said jails that are 5 mile what?
Spas.
Oh, I was going to say what?
No, they do have some.
yeah.
They do have some jails where you can play tennis and all that. That's for the people who get financial crimes. Look it up. What details? What details do they have about this spa?
I didn't really look it up. I just saw that go to jail. That's all I need to know.
No, for me, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. All right, let's get to today's Hater Love It segment.
It's that time for Love It or Hate It.
Hate it.
If we love it, we talk about it. If we hate it, we move on.
All right, first up, our sneakers of the week. We have the Air Jordan 3 Pure Moneys. I like those. A white linen party would hate to see me coming with these. For real. I like these. Nike A1 Apologetic. These are the
I ain't mad at them.
What you think about these?
I like these.
I love colorful shoes.
Yeah.
Especially pink.
These are Asia Wilsons. Yeah, I like these. All right, the Nike SB Dunk Low Dark Team Red Burgundy Crush. These are fire. These are a good fall shoe.
Those look nice. I can see that being.
And then the Kobe Bryant Nike Air Force One Low Mama Mentality Forever White.
On the fact that
So
count me in.
they made some all whites. Is it any like?
Yeah, there's details like there's little Mamba symbols.
Wait, how does this is a Kobe Air Force One?
Kobe Air Force One. So they have the Mamba symbol on the back, and then it's not like a pure white. You see, like there's some stitching that they have like Mamba symbols.
So what happened to Kobe's signature shoe?
They still have Kobe's signature shoe.
They're doing a lot of.
These are just like
collabs
with Kobe.
to make more money off of his name.
All right.
Yeah. That's what Nike's doing. Don't kill the messenger. All right. Seattle Storm announced Sue Bird statue, making franchise legend the first WNBA player to receive a statue. Hate it or love it.
That's hard.
I hate it.
You hate it.
What? Do women want statues? Is that a man thing?
I think that's any great thing. Whoever is man or woman, if you've been a boss and you're a leader and you have a legacy, you would love to be remembered and revered. So I would be honored to have a statue.
I hate it because everybody's getting a statue, and it seems to be
not everybody.
No,
you got one? I'm just asking because you said everybody.
It's like a Build-A-Bear, but with statues.
Just anybody.
Everybody.
Yeah,
it's not gonna be a show next week. People gonna be in the ER. All
right, 4 titles. One of the best WNBA players.
I agree.
So does Diana Taurasi have a statue?
Yeah, she's gonna get one though.
I think she's gonna be the emblem.
She's gonna have
better to be the emblem of the WNBA,
the emblem,
or the logo,
emblem.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
the emblem.
So I'm saying that a lot of people are getting statues, and I believe that this is just a watered down effect to me because now everybody that's done something great is just getting a statue. What if somebody comes in and gets 5 NBA championships? Are they gonna take her statue down?
I mean, how many statues do the Lakers got?
A lot.
They got a lot.
Look at Philly.
Exactly.
Allen Iverson was one of what 10?
Yeah, like
I just think you can honor them differently because now it's just.
What would you propose?
Money.
They get that. I mean, well, I can't say that women.
They're not paying them
we
anymore.
not
I don't know. I just think the statue thing, I guess.
Since you brought up money, Caitlin Clark has called out WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert. Hate it or love it.
I love it now because I was saying a couple of weeks ago, and I thought we was going to talk about the All-Star game because what I saw was that her favoritism amongst players was low, and it was a different effect between her and a different player. Like between the voters, one player was 10.
Mm-hmm.
She was 1, of course, but then on the players, the girl was 1 and Caitlin Clark was 9. And I was wondering why people hated her in a sense. Like the fans of certain realms love her,
yep.
right? But when the players hate her, like what is she doing or not doing? And
how was that hate?
Well,
I thought I was going to read into, is she saying anything to help the CBA contracts that are coming up and saying, hey, we need to be paid more. And this right here should get her loved. If she can use her power to get them paid more, she can she would need a statue.
And it don't make sense. Like, how do they make more in the Commissioner's Cup than
That's
winning
what
a
her
championship
complaint
title? That doesn't make sense to me either.
Probably because
So
of
it's
the
like if you can do
advertising
it for the
dollars.
Commissioner's Cup, then you need to be doing that every year.
And
It's insane.
And it also doesn't make sense that, like, what was it, Tuesday night, they had 4 WNBA games on at 8:00. Like, that don't make sense.
Yeah.
We appreciate everyone who joined in on today's show. Thank you, DJ Diamond Diva, for coming to hang out with us. Yeah, how can people find you?
Oh, you can find me on all social media platforms, IG, Facebook, all of that at DJ Diamond Diva.
And where can people watch your show?
Yeah, so you can check me live at Vi every single Thursday. And then, of course, just follow me. I post events all the time. I'm out in, well, pause and say I'm not out in these Kansas streets like that. But in terms of the need to know what's going on, make sure you follow me and tap in. I got you.
All right. Until next week, we are out of here.
Tap in.
The views and opinions expressed in the W Radio Show by the host, co-host, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100.1 FM, One Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundations, or affiliates.